Hey, Father's Day's coming up, and my dad lives right here in town, 84 nowadays, and still going strong. Matter of fact, heading down to help him buy a truck right now. And he hasn't driven in a long time, but that's a big part of his life is transportation, driving, anything cruising down the highways. And went to Sturgis over a half dozen times, different motorcycles over the years, a lot of adventures there, and was with him when he bought one of his first trucks right downtown, and also cars over the years. And he was telling me the other day about a Necker's knob. You ever heard of one of those? Apparently I might not even be here if it wasn't for a Necker's knob on his old car where he could hang on and steer while he had his arm around his passenger, which would have been my mom, and cruising down the road, and Necker's knob. So you learn all kinds of things like a regular driver and still doing it today after all these years. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Hi, this is Steve Cooper, thinking about Dad for Father's Day. And we've all got our favorite stories of our dads and what they taught us, and a lot of times they make sacrifices for us. And I like to remember a lot of things about my own father. One of them that you can pretty much do anything, and even with one arm. He lost his right arm just above the elbow to cancer. That was before I was born. But he taught me how to fish, whether it's little 6-inch trout or 36-inch muskies that used to tow him around in the boat. That was pretty cool. Taught me how to work on cars, starting at a young age just by replacing spark plugs and changing out the oil and the like. Taught me how to design kitchens, which is what he ended up doing while we were growing up together. Also taught me how to install those kitchens, which was some valuable life experience, and is probably going to come in handy one of these days when I get down to my own remodel. Also taught me how to say yes sir, no sir, and especially for my mom, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Proper manners. Proper attitude was always key too, and get the job done no matter what it took. If you said you were going to do something, do it. One of the ways that he did that was to take care of his family. He drove a nitroglycerin truck to get the down payment for our house. And obviously it must have worked because he was still there until my first day of broadcasting. My very first day on the air, I got off, stopped by the movie theater where I also had a job, picked up my paycheck there, stopped by the hospital to see him on the way home. And there was just something about the light that was coming in that January afternoon. It was winter time, and the long rays casting kind of a goldish red on his face, and there was just something that said, well, this is probably going to be the last time. And got home, and a little while later the phone rang, and it was word that he had passed. But he stays with me in my heart, in my thoughts, but I also see him in my sons and look forward to seeing him in my grandsons as well. It's part of the circle of life, I guess. Simba. Cue James Earl Jones. Fade out on Steve. Happy Father's Day.
My dad was a great example. He was a true role model and a leader, somebody that I've aspired to be like, as I've grown into an adult. He's a fantastic grandfather and someone that, again, my kids absolutely adore and enjoy spending time with, and we're very lucky that he's so close by and we can do that. They call him Papa, and again, it's just so much fun to see him interacting and sharing a lot of the values and everything I was raised on with my kids.
My dad is crazy, and the older he gets, the crazier he gets. I swear he is losing his mind. He's a good dude, though. He's a caring guy. He takes care of the whole family, He wants everyone to be happy and taken care of. My dad is always right. If you're not sure, just ask him. He'll tell you. He's always right.
Kind and always there to support all the different things I did as a kid. I was in sports a lot when I was a kid, so my father traveled across the state of Minnesota, across the country, to watch me play my different sports, and so did my mom. So he taught me the caring piece of taking care of the family, taking care of my mother, and taking care of his siblings was utmost important to my dad. So caring, loving, and always there were the big three things that my dad always took care of.
Dad, have respect for him. He's a Vietnam veteran, served his country. Also, he was an all-around man. He knew electronics, he knew how to build, he knew cars, had a good job, put food on our table, and he was fair. That was the main thing. Doesn't mean I got away with everything, but the man was fair.
He was always up for a challenge, including crazy things like never having had a horse or never snow skiing and doing that with me. He could grill one mean steak, which is good because he couldn't cook anything else to save his life. And he took us all kinds of places, all over the country. Some of them fun, some of them not so much. I remember lots of days sitting in the creek panning for gold, freezing to death. But a lot of them were really fun. We saw some cool ghost towns, went to Disneyland and Magic Mountain and lots of cool places and had a lot of fun too.
Father, common sense. This man has knowledge of the world that even though I'm a college graduate, I can only envy. It's trustworthy. I would trust my father with my life without hesitation. Intelligent. He's one of the smartest people I've ever known.
Loyal. He was a good example, and he was a very principled person, and he was a principal of an elementary school. Very Christian man as well, so he was a good example to all of us growing up.
And those are three things quickly that I appreciate about my dad.